New background, new intro, new intel. So, hi, boys and girls. So we've got some interesting stuff going on after the weekend. I am recording this on Monday, July 1st. It's about 10:45 in the morning. And there's a lot of buzz about what was going on at the Biden compound. So they keep calling them the Biden clan. I'm sorry, that piece of hair is sticking in my face. They keep calling them the Biden clan. Kind of like the Kennedy clan, like everyone's kind of rallying around old Joe and seeing what's what. So is his time up? Is the consensus that the time's up? I did put in the thumbnail a very interesting photo that has a mark across his face that looks like it's from one of those pressurized, like I want to call it a CPAP mask, but I don't think that that's what it's called. I think it's something different with that strap that's that big. So very interesting. As a snorer, like I'm not going to poo-poo anyone with a CPAP mask because sometimes you do need that. I always feel like get a really good night's sleep when I snore like a lumberjack, but Gregopedia doesn't agree. So something was very interesting that was brought to my attention as well, and it's a post from 2020. Almost 4 years ago. It was posted on July 18th. It's John McAfee. So I'm just going to bring that up. I'm going to bring up a screen share so you guys can see what I see. And this is very interesting. We're going to share the entire screen over here. Share. And so there we go. So John McAfee, again, this is from July 18th, 2020. Russia's first time traveler has returned. Guess what he said? In September, Biden is medically diagnosed unfit for office and quits. They discovered the DNC has legal power to choose a replacement without a national vote. Weird, huh? You'll never guess who they chose or who they choose. And over here, again, this is, I want to remind you, it's 2020. Big M. Big M. Let's just say Big M. So let me take that screen down and very curious. So over the weekend, the Biden clan was, I guess, at Camp David, and they are urging old Joe to not leave the race. Replacements that the talking heads on the news and on YouTube are discussing Kamala and Michelle. So we're going to do a little square off with them. So let's take a look at, we're going to look at head, heart, and like a full-scale meltdown for this medically unfit stuff. Let me bring up the card view. But as always, I want to thank all of you for being here. Let me know what you think of the new intro. I turned the music down. I know my last intro, some people had said that it was really, really loud. So I did turn it down a little. I need to turn it down a little bit more. You let me know. There's an outro too. So you're going to see that in a minute. But let's take a look at this. Rick Paul and I did Vibe with the Tribe today. We got some cool stuff coming up for you with Vibe with the Tribe. Actionable items that you can do to help yourself elevate spiritually every day and every week with us. Also, PNR is going to come back. We have a new addition to the team. Very interesting addition. We're going to have someone come on board for a few recordings, see what they think, see if they like working with us, see if you guys like them. I'm confident you will. The new edition is very, very interesting. Very cool energy out of this person. So, and also I'm diligently working on my course. You can see I look very tired. I was up late last night and up early this morning with my good friend Rick. But I am cranking away. I'm going to try and get this class out to you before my birthday, which is July 12th. So hopefully for my birthday, we'll do a big celebration. Also in other news, one of my friends has been diagnosed with something very serious for the third time. And so I'm going to be dedicating some energy over in that department. And I may do a little fundraiser. We did put together a GoFundMe and a meal train for her, but we may do a little fundraiser here on the channel. So any support would be greatly appreciated. So let's do that. But to be continued. We'll do that. We'll do that in a week or two. But let's take a look at Joe Biden. Let's see how he's doing. So I'm going to pull up the card view. Thanks again for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying the changes that I'm making to the channel. And we do have the Hydesville out. I'm going to pull that deck out as well for my good friend Alicia Wicker, which, by the way, her birthday's coming up too. So we're both Cancerians. So we got the Hydesville. So let's see what's going on with head, heart, and full-scale meltdown. We are going to do this just like we would read for a person. So I know a lot of people are always worried about the potential for heart and stroke kind of things. But the head thing, we're going to do twofold. We're going to do that like possible stroke or if there's some degradation. So let's look at the heart first. The heart is reckless and racing, and the heart is having some issues. I'm going to say that right now. When you're of an age, you're going to have some issues like that, but the heart is reckless and racing, not beating in the correct sequence. So we're going to put that on the side and mark that for now. Now, the head, let's talk about, degradation in terms of like stroke, that kind of thing. We're going to take a look at that. Heart's not beating right. We know that already. So I think in terms of stroke, I don't think there's much of an issue here. I think we're all systems go, unless this is all systems go for stroke. But I think, that let's do that just a little bit more. We're looking at capillaries, blood flow. I'm going to say this. I think there's actually already been some kind of an event. I know there's like a mini stroke that you can have. And I think there's already been some kind of an event that has damaged part. And I'm doing this because I do think it's here. I think this is the part that was damaged. I think some of the effects of what we're seeing now may be a result of that. Curious. So now in terms of dementia, degradation of intellectual capacity, what are we looking at with that? The world. Yeah, we're in the final stages of it. Temperance, there's no balance in there anymore. So final stages. I know a lot of people have been saying, I think it was Mark Levin. You know what? I shouldn't even say that because I don't know if it was him or not. Someone said this was, it looked like stage 5 of dementia. So having a grandmother who had dementia, I can fully appreciate what happens with that. So I'm thinking the heart already has an issue. I'm thinking we're already in degradation in terms of intellectual ability. And full scale meltdown. Like, are we just gonna have like a full scale Chernobyl level terrestrial body meltdown? Is that really what we're looking at here? I think it's going to be in the chest. I think we're going to see this guy go first. Full scale meltdown. No, this is potentially on some kind of support for some time at the direction of medical and political leadership. I think we'll see that. So curious, are we going to see an event in July? I remember said September, but let's see if we're going to see an event, medical event in July. We're going to pull one card. This really is the stress that is from the lack of support in the Democratic Party with that Hierophant. Are we going to see some kind of medical degradation in August? The moon, I think they're still going to be hiding things. September is when he stands alone. September is when, and October is when it all comes apart. So I'm going to say September, October. September, I think we're going to be seeing true dissension in the ranks. And then October, I think we see the whole thing come apart. So there we go. You can mark that. Mark that. And let's see what we have here. So the family wants him to stay in. Is that true? New York Times promoted that. And there was your sloppy shuffle. Everybody loves a sloppy shuffle. So the New York Times is saying that the family said, stay in, Joe. You got all the answers. You answered all the questions. Sorry, it's really terrible. So does the family still want him to stay in? Don't listen to him, Joe. Don't listen to all those naysayers. You're still the king of Camelot. But they're lying to him. They are lying to him. This is toxic positivity. You know, I do think that there is a personal interest in keeping him in the race for the family, obviously. No one would do this to a family member if it wasn't. I do think that there is going to be a grievous disappointment at the end of this. I think they are kind of pushing him to the outer limits. Are they going to start to see this? They're in denial. They're in denial about what's going on. So, and that can happen when you have a family member who's not well like this. You can kind of be in denial. My grandmother originally, when she had dementia, we all thought it was further hearing loss. So, you know, we can be in denial about that. So now let's look and see, what is Jill's motivation for keeping him in? She doesn't want it to end. Don't let it end. If it ends, they have nothing to do. Anyway, she has nothing to do. Redefining herself as anything other than a politician's wife is very unpalatable to her. It's almost like the bottom will fall out. She's not going to go back to work. Like, you know, come on, let's be real. She could go back to work, but I don't think she'll go back to work. The redefinition of herself becomes very problematic. She has likened herself to Jackie Kennedy Onassis. I'm sorry, Jackie Kennedy Onassis. And, you know, even though she wore those hideous lace stockings, oh my God, they were hideous. I was like, please, girl. The marriage is not what a marriage really is. She's really kind of just there. You know, this was a union of power. Sorry, guys, but it was. Shocker, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, you're alone with this person, and now you don't have the kind of staff and the kind of care that you're used to. Now you got to deal with it. I think that's part of it. This is too much for her to deal with. She knows that Hunter's not going to be any help. She knows their daughter's not going to be any help. You know, there's very few people that are going to step up once he is out of that seat of power. It really doesn't make any sense. And she's going to want to get as far as possible from him so that she can kind of do her own thing. It's not as enjoyable to be around him as it once was. So this is kind of like the old dog syndrome. Like, you know, your dog gets old and you're like, ew, he smells and his teeth are rotten. You know, it's kind of like that, unfortunately. So what is Brother Jim's motivation for advising him to stay in? Because I'm sure Brother Jim was there. Brother Jim, what was his motivation? His motivation to keep him in. Brother Jim does not want to come out from under his rock. His brother is smokescreen for him. Joe is smokescreen for Jim. That's what I mean. So Jim can do whatever he wants. Jim's got, you know, a little bit of a power broker thing going on there, but he can hide behind the smokescreen of the highest office in the nation. So that is what Brother Jim is doing. So that's what we got there. Under the surface, as long as Joe is in power, Jim is in a good place. He is not freaking out. He is not concerned. about what's going on. He's just coasting under the surface. So up top, the strength card is very telling. He is manhandling this situation. He is forcing Joe to stay into it. He is not doing this with the highest regard and the highest level of integrity. He's really forcing this through. He's demanding that his brother stay in. Don't let that bastard Trump win. So a lot of motivations here. What is Hunter's motivation? What is Hunter's motivation? Hunter is really afraid that his entire life will turn upside down. He recently lost his law license, so he's right up there with the rest of those high-flying politicians. He's afraid that he is going to be on his own. He's going to lose his support team. He's going to lose his defense team. He is going to lose everything. He is going to have to fight the battle on his own and stand alone and be his own man. Is he capable of doing that? No, he is not. He's not capable of standing strong on his own if need be. The law license, the law school that he went to is really kind of useless. He has ideas, but his mind is addled now by the substances that he has used. So I don't mean addled like completely addled, but he's not as clear thinking as possible. So really unfortunate. So this is the self-preservation, of course. I mean, we all knew that, right? Self-preservation, he wants to take the helm, but underneath the surface, he feels like a child. This person feels like a child, and he really wants to hide behind his father and have his father fix things for him. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So no surprises there. So let's see if we get some surprises here. So we're going to do Kamala versus Michelle Obama for the heir apparent. Kamala is the heir apparent, but I've been saying Michelle Obama is the one who's going to get the votes in the box. So we're going to look at both of them. We're going to play a little war here. So let's do Michelle on the left, Kamala on the right. So Michelle doesn't want it, does not want it, is saying no now. She doesn't care that anyone's disappointed. She's got her own thing to do, and she wants to get away from politics. Totally fine, totally respectable. In fact, this makes me like Michelle Obama a whole lot because she's saying no. This is a crap job. Nobody wants this job. If Trump wants this job, give it to him. This is a crap job. It's going to be a hard job. It's going to be hard to overcome all of the economic stuff, all of the geopolitical stuff that's going on. We have to say geopolitical. So, Kamala. Security is paramount to her. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. Here we go, baby. Here we go. So I think they are going to lean toward her a little bit more so than I expected. So, I've been saying for some time that Michelle Obama was the dark horse running in this race and that they were going to call her in, get her off the bench and get her into the race to save the Democratic win, the Democrats win. Here, it looks like after post-debate, and resistance from Joe, that the powers that be, remember the Hierophant, it's always the powers that be, they are willing to take a chance on her. So I'm wondering, let's see if we're going to get the 25th. Is the 25th going to get pulled? The 25th is 25th Amendment is where they were threatening 45 with it for the longest time, saying, he was unfit, and they were gonna enact that and get him out of office because they thought he was bananas, super scooters, bananas. But now that Biden's performed so poorly, in the debate. And we have all of the trail of breadcrumbs to this poor delivery. Are they going to try and 25th him? There's some complications with it. It would ease up a lot of headaches for them. But there are some legal complications. They're looking at other matters. The main thing is that they do want to get him out of there now. This is confirmed in the cards. So I know no one's saying it out loud, but confirmed in the cards. I know people, there was a flurry of drama after the debate, or during the debate, actually. People were getting phone calls. But this King of Swords, under the surface, it's decided they really do want to get him off the ticket. Here, they need to figure out a way to do it, because at this point, there's 2 states that they cannot take him off the ballot. They absolutely cannot for legal purposes. So there's going to have to be another way. He can't just step off it. Here, this is lawyers, legal people looking at the situation. They're trying to force it through. Again, that strength card is about forcing. And they're not going to be careful about his feelings or anyone else's. They need to stop the bleeding now. So the Knight of Wands in reverse, I always worry about this guy, because sometimes he seems a little bit like the Tsar's nephew. Let's put it that way. The Tsar's nephew, Rasputin, had dinner with the Tsar's nephews on his last night on the earth plane. So I was worried that this guy is a little bit, a bit of the Mountain from Game of Thrones, the Mountain. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? There's a guy who dispatches and gets things done. You know what I'm saying? Dispatch guy. So that'll probably be what I use from now on, you know, the dispatcher. So that's what I'm saying. So, you know, I'm thinking Kamala, we're a little bit warmer to Kamala. I think the party is kind of desperate at this point, and they really do need to get some things squared away. So more to come on this. You know, we're going to probably have to pay attention to this over the next few days. We do have the general election coming up in England, the United Kingdom, on the 4th. So Rick and I are going to do a recording tomorrow for that. We're going to see what the energetics are around the candidates, how people are going to respond, you know, what's going to happen, Interesting day for them to have it on, because effectively right now, the United Kingdom doesn't have a government. Effectively right now, after that debate, the United States doesn't have a president. We don't have someone at the helm. So the two of the biggest powers in the world right now are not functioning. Our batteries are dead. So we've got some issues on the geopolitical scale. Does this give an opportunity for Putin, Xi Jinping, and Kim Jong-un to be able to make some power moves? Who knows? We might see something like that. So I'll take a look at that a little bit later today. But for now, I want to remind everyone that I do have a 20% off sale going on for the entirety of the summer. So if you would like a fun reading for yourself, I'd be more than happy to do it for you at a discounted rate. So there's a link in the description below. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for supporting my channel, for being a part of this crazy fun journey that I'm on. I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you. You know, this really is a wonderful life, and I'm having a blast. So I hope you guys are too. And I hope I'm helped directing some of you in the right direction. Life is awesome. Every lifetime is awesome. I'm still working on my certification as a past life therapist, but I am incorporating it into some of my readings. So if you would like, I've always incorporated past life stuff into my readings, but I'm getting better at it. I'm learning some new things in my course. I will let you guys know when I'm certified. I am also still working on my course, guys. I'm going to try and get it out as quickly as possible. I know a lot of you want to take it, so I'm very, very excited to be able to present present it to you. It's going to be great. It's, learn at your own pace. And you can also schedule tutoring with me, one-on-one tutoring, live tutoring with me, which is really cool. The platform that I chose, Learn Worlds, is really an excellent platform. So I'm super, super happy with what they're doing. So thank you so much, everyone. I will see you in the next one. Have a great day.